Hi guys, this is Justin Feyereisen here. You are listening to 88.7 WRFW. I got a great show for you to plan today. I'm going to start off with Weird Al. He's one of my idols. He's announced his concert dates. He's going to come to Rochester, Minnesota, April 2nd, Minneapolis, Minnesota, April 3rd and 4th, Chicago, Illinois, April 6th and 7th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, April 10th, Green Bay, Wisconsin, on June 10th. So I've seen him twice, and he's one of my idols, and I'm a huge Weird Al fan. And if you are too, there's more information on the website of how to get tickets. If you're somehow traveling from overseas, this movie is called The Vidiot from UHF, because UHF stands for Ultra High Frequency. It's a type of channel on your television, and they don't have this overseas in Europe at the time of this release. And Weird Al suggested they call it The Vidiot. And then the marketing people's like, we have to tie it into the American version from somehow because this is going to be a huge hit. It's going to be so popular. And they called it The Vidiot from UHF. And Weird Al hates the international title, but that's the title. So this has Weird Al Yankovic. He is the huge pop singer, parody artist, genius. He plays George Newman. It's an allusion to Alfred E. Newman, Mad Magazine. It's directed by his manager, Jay Levy. And he has a small role as Gandhi in the film. And it's also got a couple other people from the 80s. Michael Richards, you would know him from Kramer in Seinfeld, plays the janitor Stanley Spadowski. Fran Drescher plays Pamela Finkelstein. The news reporter for Channel 62, Victoria Jackson from SNL, plays Weird Al's girlfriend Terry. And Kevin McCarthy plays R.J. Fletcher, the rival news station personnel. And this has a very loose plot. The plot is Weird Al's Uncle Harvey he wins Channel 62 at UHF station in a game of poker, but they're going to go bankrupt in a couple weeks, and he's like, well, this isn't really worth anything, and I'll just give it to my nephew who can't hold a steady job because he's a dreamer. He has this huge imagination, and he gets fired from Big Edna's burger joint, and he gets fired from all these other jobs, and he can't hold a job, so now they have this television station that he's going to have. So this is worst ratings. They play old reruns of Mr. Ed and the Beverly Hillbillies, and it's struggling. He doesn't know how to turn it around. His girlfriend breaks up with him because he's spending too much time working with his uncle's radio station. And he's all depressed, and he's all sad, and he's hosting a children's television program, Uncle Nutsy's Clubhouse. And this is another reference to Mad Magazine. He's down and depressed, and he's like, well, I need a drink. He goes to the bar. He tells the janitor, hey, host a TV show. And he does. He gets to the bar, and everybody's watching this. It's a huge hit. Stanley Spadowski, the janitor, and he is doing so well. Everybody's like, this guy is so great. Life is like a mop. Sometimes it gets dirty and you just gotta wring it out, and sometimes the floor is just too dirty. You can't use a mop, you gotta use a toothbrush, and that's life, and you just gotta scrub no matter how hard it gets. And the whole place cheers. They got one hit on their hand. Well, one hit's not gonna save the television station. So they gotta come up with other ideas for television shows. They have Wheel of Fish. Wheel of Fortune meets Let's Make a Deal. You got a big wheel of fish, you spin it. Oh, now you won your weight in red snapper. Do you want to trade it for this box? They got television movies like Conan, the Librarian. How do I find a book on astronomy? Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System? Movies like Gandhi 2. Celebrity mud wrestling. It's just all these wacky, corny jokes. And this becomes popular. Then the rival television station, Channel 8's like, we're a network. They're a UHF station. We got to find some way to shut them down, and that's the plot of this movie in a nutshell. But this plot is basically used so they can parody all these TV shows, they can parody these movies, and Weird Al is the music parody genius. This is his first foray into movies. And the problem with this movie is it released in the summer of '89. If people are familiar with the summer of '89, they had every movie released that year in that 2-month period. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Timothy Dalton's James Bond License to Kill, Dead Poets Society, Ghostbusters 2, Star Trek V The Final Frontier, Batman, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Lethal Weapon 2, Karate Kid 3, Weekend at Bernie's, When Harry Met Sally, all released in this 2-month period. So when UHF got there, it didn't stand a chance. And Roger Ebert gave a 1-star review of this film. He says it wasn't funny. I know some people might find it funny, but I didn't. And I know there is an audience for the movie. I just don't know who that is. Well, there is an audience for that movie. That movie is Weird Al fans. There's so many jokes in this movie which are for Weird Al fans. I Lost the Will to Live. Picks up the crowbar and he tells his best friend, just knock me over the head. Just end it now. And he's like, I can't do that. You still owe me $5. There's multiple Weird Al songs where he's talking about people dying in car accidents and he's like, dang it, they still owed me $5. The Uncle Harvey. Harvey's the name that he has his hamster in his TV show. He has a song about Harvey the Wonder Hamster. Harvey, Harvey, Harvey the Wonder Hamster. He doesn't bite, he doesn't squeal, he just runs around on his hamster wheel. All these inside Weird Al jokes. They might not be for everyone, and I'm not saying this is the Citizen Kane of comedies, because it's not. This isn't in the top 10 comedies of all time. This isn't in the top 20 comedies of all time. But this is the only Weird Al film we have, and frankly, it's probably going to be the only Weird Al film we're ever going to get. And for being Weird Al's style of comedy, this film works real well. And it's a nice, fun comedy that you can put on in the whole... There's jokes for the entire family. And recently, comedies have been more of, let's have poop jokes, fart jokes, sex jokes, and there hasn't been a real genuine comedy in a long time, not counting like Pixar or that, but I wouldn't consider those comedies. They're films with comedy elements.